They had me put them willingly in foster care, and then told my lawyer, my court-appointed lawyer and a caseworker, had me sign my rights away in 2011.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, let's take some more calls.
We have Alexis from Utah. Alexis, do you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Both. So it's kind of like long and complicated. So I had a domestic violence with my first husband in 2006 and 2009. I didn't have anywhere to go, begged for help. They never got me any help. Well, in 2011, my daughter was talking, saying her dad was doing stuff to her, but he won the trial because my oldest son is disabled. He was nonverbal. He had physical evidence, but my daughter was 3 and didn't have evidence. So they had me put them willingly in foster care, and then told my lawyer, my court-appointed lawyer and a caseworker, had me sign my rights away in 2011. They said, when they were coming home the week before, go to court, they come up to me and they're like, well, he will sign his rights away. If you do, it's just so he does it, you'll get your kids back, all that. And then 2 weeks later, they told me I couldn't have my kids no more. He actually lives with his mom and the kids. So in 2018, me and my second husband, he was involved in the last case because I had left my husband, got with him, then got back to my husband, got back with my second husband. And we had a case in 2009 for our oldest daughter was involved because she was born, but she was a baby and it wasn't anything. And so in 2018, we got in a verbal argument upstairs in our bedroom. Kids were downstairs. Cops got called. He had a black eye from 2 weeks before because I caught him cheating. I waited 10 years to marry him, and then he cheated a month later, so I punched him. And I told the cops. And so we got a case, PSS case. We did everything they asked. So this was April of 2018. They asked for 1 peer parent. We did 3. They asked for 1 pairing class. We did 6. Did extras in therapy, domestic violence classes. I mean, just nailed it. Like, we passed the classes faster than anyone. Our worker at the time, she was amazing. She's like, this will be fast and easy. Well, April of 2019 comes around. I have a baby in February 2019. I had my 6th child, and she was born early with holes in her heart and having health problems. Well, they said I was making her sick, which I wasn't. My mother-in-law doesn't like me, my now ex-mother-in-law. I divorced him last year. And she moved in next door and was saying that I was making the baby sick. But, like, they had me on camera, like, 3 days in a row as they were testing her up at the children's hospital. Like, if I was making her sick, they would have seen it. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't. It was just her health problems. Mm-hmm. And, well, April of 2019, we got in an argument on April 8th, and the cops came. Kids were asleep, had no idea what was going on. It was outside. His mom called. We were trying not to have the kids involved. And then on the next day, I had postpartum. I took medication 2 months before having her because I had it with my other kids. But it didn't work, and I decided I was going to go do something. And he was trying to stop me, and he was trying to give me the baby so I wouldn't leave. And the cops came, and as soon as I opened the door, I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. And I went to the hospital and got my medicine fixed and all that. We told the worker. We went to court April 23rd or 27th of 2019. And they're like, the judge yelled at me for having postpartum for 10 minutes. Then he said, okay, we'll come back in June and we're closing the case. You guys have done everything. I had 1 domestic violence class left. And so May 23rd comes around, and I didn't get along with the new caseworker that came in. I asked to leave in March of 2019 because he had cheated again, and I was just done. And she told me I was court ordered to do family counseling and marriage counseling, so I couldn't leave. So March 23rd comes around. We get a shelter hearing out of nowhere. Like, we're thinking next month we're getting our case closed. We've done everything. You know, my one of my children has autism, cerebral palsy. My oldest daughter, in this case, has ODD and ADHD. But my kids were happy, healthy. Like, I was soccer mom, coached T-ball, machine pitch, PTA, everything. We helicopter parents. And we go to the shelter hearing, and my second husband, the kid's father, he has an intellectual disability, so he blows up quickly. And they said they were going to put him on stand and make him blow up so the judge would see him behave that way. So we agreed to a shelter hearing. They said, 5 days. They took my kids June 3rd, 2019, never offered reunification. They said because I signed my rights away to the oldest, they could not offer them. The judge told me at the shelter hearing he would never give my kids back to me without a trial. There was nothing new. Nothing happened. We've been told several different things like why it happened. In October of last year, one of the court reports said I killed my children, and they're all alive. We've tried to call it out. I've called the ombudsman all the way up to the supervisor, legislature, government, the president. We're Native American. Me and my kids are Cherokee, but we didn't get into the tribe until August of last year, so they didn't count ICWA till then. And so they're saying because of the pandemic, we would have had our TPR trial before then, so ICWA doesn't count. And the judge ruled on it when the guy from the tribe, the state attorney, emailed him before he even got case records and said, "Will you testify the termination?" Including the foster mom who all of a sudden after 2 years has decided she wants to adopt. But they were placed with my mother-in-law for 5 months. Foster mom emailed the caseworker, said she wanted them back, went to my mother-in-law's house and took them back without a court order or DCFS there. And then at the TPR trial, I had the final day I tried to get my lawyer the whole time, my public defender, to put things in. I went to lawyers with thousands of dollars here in Utah and they wouldn't take the case. And then I had one, he's all, your case is easy, we'll win. It'll be fast. And then he wouldn't take it. And so I had to do the public defender. So I did everything. I've done everything, never had reunification, which is part of ICWA. They're supposed to offer a service plan, and they never have. Never offered the reunification. I left the day they took my kids, got my own house, got a divorce. There's no chance of domestic violence. They keep saying there is, and there's not. And the judge allows just everything to keep going. He says clear and convincing evidence that things are happening that they're not. In trial, they had my ex on stand, and he didn't understand what the state attorney and the guardian ad litem was saying to him. And he kept saying, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you reword it? And the judge never stopped at nothing. And he gets we're in court because he can't understand over the phone or computer. So he has to be in person for his disability. He's got the accommodation. Mm-hmm. And the judge didn't stop it. His lawyers didn't do anything. The lawyer didn't do anything. No one did anything. Just let it keep going. And then the judge is just waiting to rule. And all my lawyer says is she thinks we won because we did prove everyone lied. The caseworker and her supervisor, everyone had flawed stories, and we proved it. And my kids all asked to come home. They asked my son, Marshall, who has autism. He doesn't lie. And they're like, what's fighting in your home? And he's all arguing. And they asked my 12-year-old, they're like, well, what do you guys do when your parents are fighting? She goes, me and my brothers look at him, and we're like, what the heck are you doing? We're causing so much trauma, but that's how she said it. Mm-hmm. And, my 7-year-old said fighting was arguing. But they keep, the cops from April of 19, the state attorney kept trying to get him to say it was physical. And both cops kept sitting there over and over again telling him, no, it was verbal. It was verbal. And the judges kept allowing it, and now we're on a waiting game. And all my lawyer says is, wait for an appeal. She's all, I think we'll win, but if not, you can appeal. But it's I went to the BIA, ICWA, and ICWA. It's there's so much holes in the case. I talked to a legislative guy here in Utah that's doing the policies for DCFS, and he's actually looking into my case because he said he got to see part of it, and there were so many holes in this case in the last case. There's no reason my kids should have been removed. And it's
hey, Vince, how does that happen? How does a parent get to where she's at, where
2 minutes.
She's innocent, proves everyone's lying, and her children are still not returned?
Well, it's difficult to say because I haven't reviewed her file or the transcripts. A lot of people tell me, I'll give you an example. People call me up all the time and tell me, hey, Vince, I've done everything that I'm supposed to do to get the child back or the children back. And then we get into the details of the case. Oh, they've done everything except for one or two things. But sometimes when you have 5 things to do and you've done 4 of them, you feel you've done everything. And that's not accurate.
I did above and beyond. Even my therapist and my domestic violence therapist even pointed out in court that I had done extras.
Okay.
I was always asking for more stuff.
Alexis, my engineer is telling me you have to take a break. I would like you to call me at my office and leave a message tomorrow, and I will call you back tomorrow because I would like to talk to you about your case a little bit more in detail. Call 888-888-6582. And Alexis, in about 3 or 4 weeks, call us back. Let us know what's going on in your case. We have to take a break right now. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll be right back after these messages.